everyone, this is Christina from Pretty and Pink Supply. Welcome back to our channel. Today I'm going to show you how to make these fun little keychains. They're made out of resin and we use some different clays and some different tools. So what I'm going to show you today is all the tools that you need to make these, as well as the different type of resin that I'm using, and I'll walk you through all of that right now. Okay, so you're gonna need an alphabet mold. We do have these available on the website. We have two different listings for them. You can purchase just the mold alone, or if you wanted to purchase it in a kit, the kit will come with the screwdriver that you need to make your hole for your keychain. It'll also come with some of the eyelet screws and your keychain. So a kit, or it can be purchased individually. Okay, so you're gonna need this. You're going to need clays or glitters. You're gonna need resin. Today I'm gonna use UV resin, but we also have AB resin. Either one you can use. It doesn't really matter. If you want like quick results, UV is really fast. It only takes maybe 5 to 6 minutes to complete it. If you wanna do AB does take 24 to 36 hours to cure, so keep that in mind. But like I said, we're gonna be using the UV. You're gonna need some jewelry pliers. You're gonna need a handheld drill. This one is just one that you just screw in. It's super easy to use. I'll show you how to put that together and use it. Then you're gonna need some keychains, some jump rings, and the little eyelet screws. I am going to be using my Heatgun, which is from Amazon. I'll link that for you guys below. I'm gonna be using my UV lamp, which is also from Amazon, and I will also link that. And then most importantly, gloves, and you want to be working in a ventilated area. Okay, to start, I'm just gonna hold my UV resin upside down just for a few seconds, let everything go to the bottom and the bubbles rise to the top. And then I'm gonna take off the top, and I'm just going to put a thin layer at the bottom of my letter and just kind of smooth it out. And you just want to go kind of slow so you don't get bubbles. If you do see any bubbles, you can just run your heat gun over it really quick. I would just do it for a few seconds. Just kind of do a nice thin layer. Okay, so I have a few tiny bubbles, so I'm just gonna really quick run over it with my heat gun. You don't want to do it too long because the molds will start to bubble or like bend and curl, so you just want to do it quickly. All right, next I'm gonna put a little bit of clay into my silicone cup. So I'm using these little lemon and sprinkles, and that should be enough. It's actually probably more than enough. I'm going to just hold this upside down for a few seconds before I start squeezing it, just to avoid bubbles. One of the things I like to do while I am once I have all of my resin in my little cup, is I like to heat it up in here before I pour it, so you can get out any bubbles before pouring, and then you don't have to heat up your mold. You just do it in the cup. So I normally like to do that, and it gets rid of all my bubbles beforehand. All right, so I'm gonna use my little stick, my silicone stick. These are like super easy for cleanup, and I'm just gonna kind of mix it all together. There's not a whole lot of bubbles. I don't know if you guys can see nice and close. And let me just grab my gun really quick and run over it for a few seconds. So this gun has a high heat and a low heat. So I normally just do it on the higher heat, just for a few seconds. Okay, and I'm just gonna mix it up a little bit more, and I'm gonna pour it into my mold. And you can do this in layers. That way, if you do notice bubbles, you can just run over them really quick. But normally you can get most of your bubbles out before pouring. All right, so I got a few bubbles in there. They're not bad though. So I'm just gonna run it over for just a second. Okay, I have my Sun UV lamp, and I'm just gonna put it over my letter that I have. And we're gonna do it for 2 minutes on one side, or actually 2 to 3 minutes on one side, then we'll flip it and do it on the back side as well. Okay, so with the extra resin I had, I just put it into another letter, and then just a tip to easily clean out your silicone cups or tools, you can just throw them under your lamp, and then everything just pills out like super easy, and it's nice and clean. So I did that with this, but you can only do this with UV. So it would be the same thing if you were using AB resin. You can do the same thing and clean it, but you would just have to let it set until it cures, which is about a day. And then once it's cured, you would just pill it out the same way if you're using silicone tools. So it makes it a little bit easier for cleanup. Same thing with your mat. I use my mat to kind of catch anything that falls. I like to have baby wipes nearby. Someone had mentioned that to me, and it works amazing. It cleans up so easy. If I have like any spills on my actual mold, I can use the baby wipes just to kind of clean it up, and it makes everything super simple. Okay, so my eye is done, and I'm just going to pop it out. It's nice and hard. It looks great. And I'm gonna go ahead and take off my gloves now since it is cured, and I'm going to show you how to use the tools. I did want to mention really quick, if you are making multiple, after you cure it for 5 minutes, 2 to 5 minutes, it just depends on what type of stuff you put in there. You can pop it out and then flip it on its backside and just cure it for a few more minutes so it gets the back nice and clean. If not, you could always just flip your mold over and cure it that way as well. Okay, so this is your handheld drill. It comes in several parts that screw apart. So let me just show you. These are micro drill bits. They have like one for each side. So you're gonna get 4 different drill heads, I guess you would call them. I'm not really sure. But these are the little things that screw into your resin, okay? And they come in 4 different sizes. We're gonna use the smallest size, and we are going to insert it into the smallest drill bit. So there's one on this side. It has sides on each side. I don't know if that makes sense. It has like heads on each side to put in your drills, okay? So we're gonna use the smallest one. There are also 2, let me show you really quick, just so if you need like bigger holes, there's also these ones, and they just have like a bigger top part to put your drill into, okay? Not like super familiar with what they're called, but so anyways, you're gonna unscrew it just slightly, and we are going to, I don't know if you guys can see that, we're gonna use our smallest one, and we are going to slide it in there. And you want, okay, so let me see if you can see this. So where it starts to have like the screw thread, sorry. Okay, you're gonna wanna put it down to right before it has those threads. And then you're going to want to tighten this part nice and tight. Make sure that it's in there and that it's not going anywhere, okay? This is what's gonna screw into our resin. Okay, so you just decide whichever way you want where you want your eyelet screw to go in. You're just gonna put a little hole there. You're not gonna wanna go in too deep, just enough to get a little bit of a hole. And then, I don't know if you guys can see that, but there's a little bit of a hole right there. I'm just gonna go in a little bit more. You wanna make sure that you have a good grip on your screw, and you're just gonna twist your letter onto the screw so the screw stays nice and straight and it's not like wobbly or anything like that. And the reason I didn't go all the way in with the drill is because you want your screw to be the one that like grips onto the resin as it goes in. So that way it has a good grip in there and it's not going anywhere, okay? All right, so we got that, and then we are going to apply our jump ring and our keychain. Next I have my jump ring, and I'm just going to open it slightly. We're gonna attach it to the top of our I'm gonna add in my keychain, and we're gonna close it up, and we are all set. I'm just gonna close that, and we should be good to go. Alrighty, we got a cute little letter. Thanks so much for watching today, and if you guys have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments below, and we will be happy to answer those. If you haven't already liked and subscribed to our channel, be sure to do so.